we were well represented at this event. We had attendees from over 30 countries.
Hello, good evening. I'm really very happy that you made it today and you came. Actually, it was quite hot out there, so thank you so much for coming. And we are going to, actually, I will start by presenting this community. What is a Startup Grind, okay? So we are all here today to learn. Startup Grind is community powered by Google for entrepreneurs, designed to educate, inspire, and connect entrepreneurs, okay? So we are having this community right here. We have just started this community. We are a global organization based in Silicon Valley. And we are trying to connect entrepreneurs, not only locally, I mean in Doha, but we want to connect them globally, okay? Today we are having a panel of discussion about the entrepreneurship at Qatar, and we will answer this question: what are the difficulties and the challenges of being an entrepreneur or doing entrepreneurial activity here at Qatar? Because of that, we have invited 3 speakers. Okay, Mrs. Aisha Al-Mudahika, she is the CEO of Cubic, Qatar Business Incubation Center, board member of Injaz, and she is the co-founder of Rawda. Okay, we have invited also Ahmed Fawzi. He is from Nanotechnologies. He is the founder and CEO of Nanotechnologies. And we have invited Faraj Abdullah. He is the co-founder of Germas. Okay, so guys, give them a big applause. Okay. Okay, I'm really very happy to have you here today as guests, okay? And I'm very excited about talking about this subject, the entrepreneurship at Qatar. I want from you to introduce yourself for 2 minutes or 3 minutes to the audience. So let's start with Miss Aisha Al-Mudahika. Mrs. Aisha Al-Mudahika, okay?
Yes. Sure, that's fine. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thanks for inviting us here and thanks for hosting your first Startup Grind at Cubic. We're very happy to have you and host such events. It's interesting. Can you hear me now? The mic is on. Can.
Neck mic?
I don't have a neck mic. Hello.
This one.
And so it's okay.
That's okay.
So anyways, just to introduce, so we've been introduce a little bit of Cubic and what we do here. We're a mixed incubator. We support different types of businesses. We provide, our main objective is to take ideas and startups and make them either reality or grow as a business. We provide office space, coaching, mentoring. There's a funding mechanism as well. And we also have events like these and the speaker series that we bring international and regional and local speakers as well. It's been operating for almost a year now, and we're proud to say that we have 36 companies. We use the lean startup methodology, and so we have the applications are now open for the lean startup. Okay. For October, and we have another one for the Lean Scale-Up program for companies who are already existing either at Cubic or outside Cubic and who would like to scale up their businesses.
Okay, great. We will talk about this at the end of the event, inshallah. Okay, so now let's go to Ahmed Fawzi. Okay.
Hello. Hi. All right. First of all, really thank you so much for this. And whenever I find the chance to speak about startups and what people go through, it's really nice because I have so much to say and I get the chance to speak. My name is Ahmed Fawzi. 8 years ago, I started my first business, which was Nano. Thankfully, it was since then I didn't have to shut it down. Of course, I did, and ups and downs, but at the end, I managed to make it work. In the beginning, of course, it's extremely hard since there was no incubators in the country, and at the same time, the whole idea of investment was not there. So Nano in general is a technology research and development lab. What it does is that we work with underutilized technologies, and we work with those technologies. We have a research and development workflow, and out of that workflow, at the end, we get some new startups or sometimes new service, new product, and mostly it's spin-offs that we look for someone to invest into those and make it its own, its own new startup and so on, and then we can build several of those. Of course, there is a conflict in the name. Whenever we say nanotechnologies, people, okay, so are you in building materials or are you? When we started in the beginning, we started with two technologies that were two different types of films, which was super hydrophobic films and capacitive touch screens, and both of them were built by nanotechnology. So today we're doing a rebranding today. We're calling it Nanotechnovations. This will be new, so we will get away from the nanotechnologies part. And what I will mostly be, inshallah, speaking about here is one of these spin-offs, which is Contactless, which is incubated here in Qatar Business Incubation Center.
Okay, awesome.
That's
so
it.
hold this idea, we'll speak about it on details, okay? So now let's go to Faraj Abdullah.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for making me part of this. I'm very happy to have such event here in Qatar, and if it shows that some evidence that the community itself is evolving and the community is becoming bigger and bigger. My name is Faraj Abdullah. I'm the co-founder of Girnas. Girnas is a creative game development studio. We develop casual games. We have developed two titles so far. First one is Gaddam, and the other one is Go Fahad. Go Fahad, we developed the game Go Fahad for the Handball World Cup that was held in Qatar 2015. We did the character development, the whole game idea, and currently we're cooking some cool stuff.
Okay, great. I'm really very thankful that you came today. Okay, now let's start to discuss about the entrepreneurship at Qatar. My first question is going to be, what are the biggest challenges that we can have if imagine I'm going to do my own business, I'm going to start my own business. What are the biggest challenges that I can face if I did that? Okay?
Who wants to start?
Okay.
Ahmed, you're the first one in the market, so go ahead.
Okay.
First of all, I am really, really thankful that today there are incubators in Qatar.
Great. Okay.
The biggest challenge, of course, there are some legal challenges that you have to go through. So the first thing is that you have to present a capital, which is minimum of 200,000. We've heard that this is in a process to change right now. So this is a 200,000 that you have to have, or you have to have an investor to have. Second thing is, of course, for you to operate legally and have a license, you need to have a commercial registration, municipality license, which means you have to have an office on a main street that has a commercial license, basically, so you can open your business there. So that means another 200 to 300,000 in overhead costs. And then if you want to hire someone as a fresh graduate and you need to provide them with some accommodation and so on, then you have at least maybe $2,000 to kick off.
Okay.
So that makes your overhead costs before you have even started something around 600,000-700,000.
Okay.
And of course, no startup can start with such. You either have to have a really good financial backing, or you really need to be super patient and wait 4 or 5 years, sometimes even more, until you come out of that bottleneck of being a startup to a scale-up.
Okay.
So I think mostly the challenges are legal, because I believe it's easy to penetrate in the market here. Once you have something and you go, it's very easy to knock doors and actually get someone to meet you. In my country, for example, it would be extremely hard to go and try to meet someone, I don't know, like the marketing manager of some company. It will be very hard. Here, you can literally walk in and say, I am from some company and I would like to meet someone. So this is a pro in that, other than that's it. I think mainly it's the legal restrictions.
Okay. Now let's see with
Well, I
Faraj.
do totally agree with Ahmed. The legal issues. My first developer, when I wanted to hire a developer, and I had a very hard time getting a visa for my developer. The legal aspect is one of the biggest challenges here in Qatar. Rather than that, currently I'm facing a problem which is that you need to sell all the time. As an entrepreneur, you need to sell your idea to your employees, you need to sell your idea to anyone, to everyone, your family, all the people around you. You need to sell them your idea. On top of that, and most importantly, you need to sell your idea to your customers. Sometimes whenever you go to meet a customer, you need to deliver your message in a very simple words so that they understand your products, given that there is a lack of awareness of the new technologies, for example. So this is one of the issues that I'm facing at the time being. But maybe the legal aspect is one of the major issues here in Qatar specifically.
Okay, great. So here is my second question: is the funding one of the challenges that you can face here at Qatar if you are going to start your own business? And why is it, if it is hard or easy, you are going to tell me? And if it is hard, why it is hard to get funding here at Qatar? Or okay. We'll start with
I'll start first. Maybe I believe that the government and all the organizations here in Qatar are putting a lot of effort developing the entrepreneurs and teaching the entrepreneurs and building incubations and doing their utmost to help the entrepreneurs. At the same time, no one is putting any effort in educating the investors, which I believe that they are one of the fundamentals of the whole ecosystem, or one of the a fundamental pillar of the whole ecosystem, I believe. Okay. So no one is putting any effort to educate them or teach them or even no one is paying attention to them. So this is the main reason, I believe.
Okay,
I'll leave it to the
okay.
Definitely all what he said.
Okay.
And Faraj, by the way, he's working a lot on that. Like he's working on actually educating the investors. He's an investor himself. It is definitely that there is that level that there is a need for another school that educates investors somehow, because today investment in Qatar is pretty much you sit with someone and be like, I have some money on me. How about you put it into your business and that's it. But when you propose different models, this is something new for them, and they want to go for the easiest part. Okay. But I want to emphasize on something else, because of course now incubators are giving us that chance, right? Definitely the funding is extremely important once you have a clear vision and proper customer validation. So it is extremely important for you, because as we said before, the overhead cost is high. So pretty much you don't want to end up in that loop where you're just generating income to pay your overhead cost and so on. You want that little push. So incubators are providing that today, Cubic, providing pretty good investment. I know that QSTP also have some kind of a model on that. What also the incubators have created here, which I think is amazing, is they created a startup scene.
Okay.
Right? Before we didn't have this. Maybe 30% of the people here were in an event yesterday in ICT, the IC, yes, the incubator. And now we meet the same people, we network again and so on. Maybe not everyone is realizing that, but it's really have pushed us, because now we created a small ecosystem between startups and we're buying from one another and so on. Okay. And now when an investor comes in, we do meet investors all the time. In the past 2 or 3 days, I've met maybe 2 or 3 that were coming to these startup scenes and looking what's happening because they're interested themselves. Okay. So I think this is, to recap on it, this is exactly what the main thing what incubators have done in Qatar in the past 2 years is this mainly, that they have created for people the startup scene and the fertile ground where you can fish for investors, basically. Okay. You know? Okay.
I'm just going to add a couple of things. Yes, I mean the government is playing a big role in the funding, and maybe what's missing is the private sector to contribute to that, or the private businesses and so on. But then when you think about it, family businesses, I mean they run from generations to generations, and they fund each other, they fund for their families. Maybe the mechanism is different, but you do see that there are family businesses who a lot of these the high individuals or the people who have family businesses, they have a fund, an investment fund that they create for their families. So whoever needs to work on a certain business, there's a fund that is, that is managed for that specifically. So maybe the mechanism is different. And again, as Faraj said, there needs to be a proper education in terms of funding. It's just that the way it's been done, it's not the conventional way that we see in different other places.
Okay, awesome, great. So I think that all the guys here who are here, they have a question. What does it take to be an entrepreneur? Okay, what you must have to be a successful entrepreneur at Qatar?
I think I'm gonna start, if you guys don't mind, just to be the one who,
okay.
I think Ahmed knows the answer and my team knows the answer, but it's really, it's and Mufid as well.
Okay.
But some people from the crowd, but it's commitment. I mean, if really what it takes for you to be successful is commitment. If you dedicate your time, you will know if you're gonna be successful or not, if you're committed to it. But if you keep on, just keeping things for later on, or you will never know if this business is gonna be successful or not. Okay. So knowing from the beginning will save your time and money and energy of yourself, the people around you who are depending on you, or depending on your situation. So it's very important to really focus on commitment. If you can do it full time, knowing that maybe if you feel that you need to test it for a while before you take it full time, do that. But it's important to actually, if you want to be successful, if you want to be one of those big companies, then you have to take the time. And you don't have to be the next Snapchat or Twitter or whatever, to be successful, but you could be sustainable enough to run a business and be a successful business.
Okay, okay.
And I believe that there are good business ideas, and someone might, want to execute them. And you have people that are obsessed by entrepreneurship, okay. And it doesn't matter what's the idea. I know some people here in the room that are like that.
Okay.
And the ones that get obsessed are pretty much the ones that wouldn't even think twice before they quit their job and say, if this idea doesn't work, I'll come up with 5 more, and I'll fall 5, 6 times until one of them will work. Mm-hmm. Because at the end, you will only fail when you quit, okay. Right? When I say that, I don't mean that, it's like, I think this idea might work. No, it's when it happens to me or like to some of my friends, it's pretty much they get away from their family, away from their friends, away from sleeping sometimes. You wake up in the middle of the night and you work on it, Okay. And when you put it in your mind like this, sooner or later it's just going to work for you. Because you will always be pivoting on a non-stop, and I think this is exactly what it takes until something clicks. That you keep pivoting until you refine it and you find exactly the way it works. For me, at least, that's the biggest lesson I have learned. That you keep.
Okay.
I think one of I'll add to what Aisha and Ahmed said: commitment and let's say the. What was your point again? I wasn't paying attention.
Being obsessed about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, the passion itself. Yes. The commitment and the passion basically are obviously 2 key factors. But I would like to add into that the courage to fail. I think this is something that the entrepreneur should be willing to have, or a factor that will decide whether he will succeed or not. Entrepreneur should be courageous enough to actually take the step and actually test and to fail and learn lessons. I don't believe in failure, but I believe that there is a lot of lessons to be learned from failure. So they should have they should accept failure.
Okay.
In order to succeed.
Okay, great. So the next question I'm going to ask you, does the Qatari entrepreneur must have a superpower, or like all the entrepreneurs around the world, it's gonna work? Okay. Okay. I think, is there something special about being entrepreneur at Qatar, different from being entrepreneur at Dubai or at San Francisco or America or Europe or a place like that? Okay.
I mean, I haven't visited all the places around the world, but there's the places that I've been to. I mean, I've seen that they have to pay a lot to get the services. I mean, here we have the opportunity to be in an incubator for free for 2 years, for example, or get a funding to develop a prototype. We have so many opportunities. Let's take advantage of those. I mean, we do have examples of people who decided to quit and say, you know what, I have the opportunity, let me take advantage of this and let me do the best for myself. So I mean, whether it's education, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's anything, and we are privileged here, and we have the opportunities, and the government is supporting and looking for so many ways to make things better and better with time. So I think, I mean, yes, we are privileged that way. But in terms of power, I think everybody needs power. Everybody needs a connection. Everybody needs a wasta. You need that to play your way. But you also need to fight sometimes. You need to learn how to negotiate. You need to know how to maintain your relationships. I mean, it's good to have a client, but it's good to have a client for a long term, and you need to know how to maintain that relationship. So these things are important. There's an education part, but there's also an opportunity.
Okay, awesome. Same question.
Well, I think you need to have a superpower.
Which is?
Honestly. The market size is small.
Okay.
Okay. And it's seasonal.
Okay.
So in some fields, for example, you might have work, you might not. Like in events, for example, you might stay from July to September with no events, because literally there is not a single one happening. Business to consumer, if you go into business to consumer, the market the population is not very big, and you don't have the same customer retention that you might have in a different country where people immigrate, right? We have a lot of people here that are here on a transit plan. They are coming to stay 4 or 5 years. They have a specific financial target and leaving, so you cannot really build up on those also.
Okay.
So this is one of the reasons also why you need the financial backing, of course. And I haven't worked in other countries to compare, to be honest. But as these are cons or challenges, I'm really glad that I started in Qatar, because I think that when I go to a different country and I speak to people that have just started in another country, and I feel somehow that I had to go through so many things and come up with so many tricks to be able to hack into this, while they didn't, you know? So I think for people that want to learn, even if they want to start in a different country, if you start in Qatar in the first 2 or 3 years, it's about maybe 5 or 6 years in a different country, because the things you will see here are a lot, and you will need to come up with your own, I don't know, maybe like your own tricks, your own hacks, you know, in everything you do.
Okay, great. So the same question to Mr. Faraj.
Well, first of all, every environment has its own pros and cons, obviously. Maybe the legal issues in Qatar is one of the biggest stones that you will face, but I think it's very easy here in Qatar to acquire a project from any organization. It's much easier, I believe, than any other country. There is a lot of things going around. There is a lot of movement. The economy is growing. So in that sense, it is a very good place to start your business. The skill sets or the resources are there, and if you don't have them, you will learn them within the process. The fact that you need to have your own agent that goes to finish up your legal work, and these stuff, you will learn them by time, and these things are just tools that you will use on a regular basis. But ultimately, I believe here in Qatar we lack nothing. Maybe the only thing that we lack here in Qatar is the experience. Rather than that, we have all the resources needed for a successful entrepreneur. And I really do emphasize on the fact that I regret that there is not a lot of Qatari people that are actually active and taking advantage of the opportunities that are available in the country, such as Cubic, for example, or what Cubic are offering, or QSTP, or any organization. So that's such initiatives are a very good opportunity for entrepreneurs to
Okay, great. So speaking about the market, Mr. Ahmed, what do you think are, for example, what is special about the market of Qatar?
Special in a good
Yes.
way, you mean? Like the good things about...
I mean,
Or
for
special
example,
in
if we compare, for example, the market of Qatar to the market of Dubai or any other market, what is special about this
it's
market?
what exactly Faraj
In a good
said.
way and in a bad way,
Sure.
of course.
There are really many pros here. Is that as Faraj said, it's very easy to acquire customers, and actually, you know, the conservative culture here
Okay.
is actually good for you running a business. Why? Because people somehow once they get used to something and they are feeling comfortable with it, it becomes part of what they are used, you know. So it's very easy once you acquire a customer that this customer will only keep working with you, and it will be hard for another supplier to get in. Once they do, the market grows, and then you have a customer working with 2 or 3 and so on. So this is something I think is a good pro in the market. What's also special here is
Which could be also your enemy as well, because
if someone makes it before you.
well, if not you, but if someone actually, I mean, Doha is very small, right?
Yes.
If someone says, "Oh, okay, this company is not really that good," so that would spread the word
Very
to
true.
the community and
Very true, actually. Yeah. Also, yeah, you need to be very careful what do
either for you or against you.
what do you deliver here. There is also a very good thing here is that if you are a Qatari company,
Okay.
you have a huge privilege over international companies.
Okay.
Maybe that was not like that about 4 or 5 years ago. It was if you get there and a multinational company gets there, then people wouldn't risk it and would go there, you know, with the
Okay.
multinational. But today, I see it a lot. When you bid on something and some other multinational company bid on it and you're close to them, they will choose you just because you are the local company.
Okay.
Okay, so this is also a very good special thing, I think, here. Other than that, special about the Qatari market, it's very easy to create a fuzz about something here. You know,
Okay.
like once it's easy to create trends. I think
Okay.
once it's there, because it's not big, huge, you know, market. It's once you
small
are there,
market,
then
yes.
it multiplies.
Yes.
Referrals. Most of
Okay.
the time, we are working on referrals. Someone referrals
Okay.
to someone,
Okay.
and so on.
So here is another question. What are the kind of the products that I can, for example, launch at the Qatari market? It's gonna fit exactly the market. I mean, it's gonna work with this market, the market of Qatar. What are the kind of these products?
I can't give you a specific answer, but
Okay.
I can say, like, I mean, obviously there are certain projects that Qatar is working towards. I mean, there's the infrastructure, there's the 2022. There's so many, I mean, different, I mean, projects that, you could. The great thing is that we have a vision. We have the 2030 vision,
Okay.
and there are certain projects that are going towards that vision to achieve that vision. And there are certain pillars that we need to focus on and develop so that we can reach this vision. So if we actually all go at the same time and work on projects that are related to this project, it will be easier for you to find your way and create
Okay.
businesses that are within these different projects that are heading towards
Yes.
this vision.
Okay. So hold this idea. We'll get back to it, the vision of Qatar about the entrepreneurship. But before that, the same question to Mr. Faraj. What do you think that, what are the products that is going to fit the Qatari market, for example?
I don't have a specific answer in my mind right now, but I think the reports globally are referring to a lot of industries that are growing at the time being. You've got the MICE industry, which is the events and conferences industry. At the same time, the sports infrastructure and so on. We're hosting the World Cup. On top of that, you've got the services. As in general, if you consider the services as a product, then the companies that provide services, they are the ones that have a very big potential in the time being.
Okay. Okay.
I'll tell you. Qatar at the moment has the highest migration rate on the planet. Okay.
Okay.
So all these people, once they come, what do they require? What do they need? This is why we have the banking and the real estate and automotives. All of these things that people need all the time, consumables, I think is a very big market.
Okay.
Definitely, I know from contactless that the events market, the MICE industry, is growing by 18% in Qatar. And that means so many things around it. We went only in registration, but there is logistics, there is, the whole event management is one of the huge industries here. And it's growing really in a very strong pace. I think also consumer products as food, F&B, it's also a big market. All these people needs to eat, but this is traditional. Real estate and all what goes around it. I believe also that's a good market to go in. And at the end, I agree with everyone here is that no one can tell you exactly what would
the kind
be
of product.
Yes, but these are the ones that became too obvious to not notice. And of course, mobile development.
One last point. I believe that the locals or the local people of Qatar, they are the ones who actually know the problems and face the problems, and they are the ones who actually can solve it. There are some hidden problems that we face every day. For example, my first app that I developed, it was a real estate conversion tool. It calculates XYZ, but there is a problem in the market is that when you go to buy a real estate, you get the price in foot and then the land in meters. Yeah, that's so funny, but not the people within the community should actually tell and raise the flags on the problem that they're facing, and these such problems can show up, and they are very customized to a specific areas and geographical areas. So locals can solve these problems, and they can define the products better.
Okay, great. So actually there is many women here today with us, and I want to ask this question to Ms. Aisha Al-Madahika. About the women entrepreneurs, is there any programs of education to the women entrepreneurs here?
I mean,
At
the
Qatar, for
education
example?
part is the same thing. I mean, it's. We signed an MOU with Qatar Businesswomen Association for the business ladies here, so that they can have special rates to be members there. But what we see is the women entrepreneurs over here are dedicated. They take. I don't want to discriminate, but the women who are in our incubated in our building are dedicated. They come here as a full-time. They work on their project as a full-time basis. So the risk of quitting your job and working on your project full-time is what we have seen is higher for women at Cubic. So I mean that's one thing I could say, but the opportunity is there. I mean, if you're a local here, I mean you have the privilege of someone spending money for you on you, either if it's your spouse or your parents or so on. So you have the privilege of investing and self-investing in yourself or in your business and so on. So the opportunity of having the access to being self-financed, having the access to finance is privileged, and we're lucky to have that in Qatar. Yeah, I don't know what else do you want to know.
Okay, great. Okay, so I know that you were the co-founder of Rawda. Can you tell us more about this experience, about your experience of educating women here at Qatar about the entrepreneurship?
I mean, that was my first. Well, it was almost my first experience. I mean, to create something like that in Qatar. It was a lovely experience, and while I was the founder at the time, it was we managed to cover a lot of women entrepreneurs who learned a lot. We did a couple of programs. We connected. We did a lot of networking for them, and we involved women entrepreneurs to different projects, either in Qatar or outside Qatar. And they were very successful. So it was a very good experience, personal experience.
Okay. So do you have any plans for the woman entrepreneur at Qatar?
I have a plan for my little woman. I had to leave. I had to make some priority choices, and for me, it's. I mean, this is a great. My dedication is towards my family and Cubic, and I think I don't have enough. I don't have more time to. So I had to make a choice and leave the Rawda Center and focus on certain priorities.
Okay, great. Now I want from you to tell me more about the Cubic. What is the plans of Cubic, and what is Cubic doing to accomplish the vision of Qatar about the entrepreneurship?
Well, we're privileged because our co-founders are Qatar Development Bank and Social Development Center. So all the services that Qatar Development has could be channeled through our entrepreneurs. So it's great. We have a great services. Other than Cubic services, we have QDB services. So we're probably, I mean, I think we have really an added value when it comes down to that. We're expanding. I mean, we're opening. Well, we're expanding in terms of. We have so far we have 36 companies, and we're increasing our target because there's a lot of demand. So once you see demand, you have to expand. So we're expanding, inshallah, in the West Bay. We're going to have a new branch specified in education and design, and it's really exciting. We are working so hard to make it happen very soon, and so with the upcoming Lean Startup program, we will have entrepreneurs incubated here and incubated in the West Bay as well.
Okay, great. Yeah. And Ahmed, the same question to you. As you are incubated here at Qatar, what do you think that Cubic is doing for entrepreneur? Okay, to make entrepreneur succeed and to make fulfill their what they want, their dreams. I mean.
Allah, they're doing a lot actually, because they're doing almost everything.
Okay. So this is my question actually. What is the everything that Cubic is doing for the entrepreneur? I want.
Today I was on a coaching session
yes.
for two hours, for example. Okay. But it went long because it was we just didn't want to stop it. It was really beneficial for me, you know.
Okay.
I started working on something that I didn't have experience with, and it went out of control for me. It's got out of my hand. It needs a lot of internal processes and so on. And for someone like me, I haven't worked in that many organizations before. I've always failed in that. So I didn't have that much experience into building those internal processes. So I was always like, you know, making them from scratch. So anyways, the coaching that you get here is really great. That's one thing. You get a chance to meet people here, like, you know, speakers. There is this, what do you call it? Speaker series. Speaker series. Where you really get a chance to meet people that you would never think you would be able to meet, like, you know, casually. The inventor of Swatch was here, for example. That was a very inspiring session, and so on. So the coaching is a big part of it. Definitely also that, I don't know, but the team here seems relaxed. Okay, so it's very. That's funny, because we're learning all the time, but it's good that you see that. No, I really feel that they're relaxed. I can very easy walk into the incubation manager or into Aisha's office and be like, I need some help, and she would sit with me right away and you know, give me like an hour or so from her time, and I always wonder, I'd be like, do these people not work or what? But I know that they're working because there's so many things done, you know, all the time. Actually, at some point, I told Aisha before that maybe take it down on us a bit, because there are too many things and we cannot keep up with them. So this is another thing, the speaker series. Thirdly, of course, is the funding. It's whenever you hear that some entity will give you funding, you realize that you're going to go through so much paperwork and so on and so on. But to be honest with you, it's been fair here. It's you don't do that much. They believe in the entrepreneur at some point and be like, okay. We'll believe. Am I getting in trouble? Zaid is looking at me. Okay. But no, it's been smooth. This has been smooth also, you know. So this is one of the big facilities here. You know. What else? And a lot of people disagree on that. I love the location here. I like it. I like that I start at Dramada Signals. I hit the road before the cameras. It was beautiful, but now it's like, it was 7 minutes. I used to make it here in 7 minutes, not a single traffic light, and I'm in my office, you know? I'm far away from everything. As a startup, sometimes you need to act big. But you hope that your client is not going to say, I want to come to your office, you know? So that was a good thing. All the time, whenever the client comes and say, like, you know, when I come to your office, I'd be like, okay, take Salwa Road to exit 17. And they're like, woof, the maximum I've seen was like exit 3. I'm like, yeah, just don't give up. And they were like, how about you bring a demo and come to my office? So that was always, for me, a win situation. It's like, oh, great. Okay, so we can keep acting big and we can show them a demo in their office. And when you take a demo to someone's office, it's most of the time it's a deal because your stuff is there. They will play with it for a while. So this I really think is a pro, you know. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Maybe there are more, but
Okay.
this is what I can think of.
So
right
my
now.
next question, Harriet, is imagine one of these good people right here wants to be an entrepreneur. What you are going to advise him? I mean, give him strong advices that he is going to take. Maybe he will succeed at the end of the road from your advices.
I think first of all, go ahead and start. Turn your ideas into actions. Start asking if you're going to you're thinking about building a factory. Go and ask about how much this factory will cost. This is the first step that you will do, and after you take this first step, you will actually start doing you will see yourself taking the next step and so on. This is the first thing. The other thing, you will fail every day as an entrepreneur. Me myself, I personally fail every day. So this doesn't mean that I did something wrong or something, but I learn a new lesson and I keep going. The failure is actually part of the whole experience, but you need to make the best out of it. So you keep going and never stop, no matter what.
Okay, awesome. Same question to you, Ahmed.
When you take a job, I feel like you are working as being a part of someone else's plans.
Okay.
Okay? Yes. Sorry. Sorry for you. Okay, but when you're an entrepreneur, then it's your own plan. So first of all, do you really want to spend your life being a part of someone else's plans? Secondly, as Faraj said, you have to fail.
Okay.
Someone told me before, as an investor, he told me, if you haven't failed, I will not invest in you, because you don't know how to fail. You know,
Okay.
I'm not gonna go through that with you and see you fail first. So you will only fail when you quit. As long as you keep going, no one can say that you have failed. You're still trying, so it's fine. It's just about time, and you're young now, or we're young now, so we can keep trying with that. I have an advice.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I have an advice, and I'm not sure if people will like that, but I think it's kind of important. I see a lot of people that they are entrepreneurs. They finish high school. They go straight to college. Okay. And there where the mold is created, you know?
Yes.
And then you get framed, and you come out of college, you try to apply the processes and the things that you have learned in college into your business, because sooner or later they make it there, okay? And I believe every single business needs its own school somehow of the way it operates and so on. So what happens is that these people, they spend the first 2 years getting rid of what they have learned so they can start fresh. So I don't know if I can say this, especially, you know, here.
That's what we believe in the lean startup. De-learn what you didn't learn.
Yes, exactly. So I would say, if you have a chance to actually drop off and go for a year or two, learn how to fail first, and then once in those 2 years, you put in your mind that you exactly need to find the right people, to put them in the right places, building the right internal processes so it can function by itself, so you can take a breath, go back to college. Only then, every single thing you learn makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Because it's not strategic anymore. You see every single thing, how is it going to go into your business.
Okay.
So if someone is an entrepreneur and they want to do it and they are in that part, I would actually give them that advice. After all, you look at the first 20 in Forbes and half of them are dropouts. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I think it makes a difference.
Okay.
I think one of the things, I mean, it's as Faraj said, maybe just to relate to what you have said, that we come from a culture that's very protective. Our families have been very protective. They didn't want us to fail. They didn't want us to even to feel pain. I mean, as a kid, I mean,
Yes.
as soon as you cry, they carry you. And make sure that you don't cry.
Okay.
So we live in this privileged culture that's very, very protective. So failing and being it's like it's something that's like ashamed, or it's a shame to fail in this culture. And I think that's one thing that we need to learn. It's yes, we were raised that way, but they weren't. I mean, our parents weren't raised that way. They had to work really hard to do what they do, and they succeeded, and they made sure that we had the best education, but they didn't do it easily. They worked really hard for it, and they did mistakes, and they did so I mean, it's okay to make mistakes, and we should learn from what they learned. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to succeed from the first time. If you're lucky, you can succeed from the first time. If you're not, you can learn. But you need to accept humility, and you need to accept that it's okay to get paid less as an entrepreneur to begin with, than have a good salary and a good package. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, these material stuff are not going to stay, but the things that you like to do, and if you enjoy what you're doing, these are the things that you should look forward to, not the things that you buy. I think it makes a difference. If you're passionate about the things that you do, خلاص. I mean, what else do you need? أهم شيء القناعة. أهم شيء القناعة وأهم شيء the passion. أهم شيء the most important thing is you're satisfied with what you have, and you're passionate about what you do. That's the most important thing.
Okay.
Can I add something?
Of course, go ahead.
Because she inspired me. I think also one of the important things is that a lot of people, I see them, they go into it and they're very enthusiastic, and then after that they give up just because they came to a point where they have to come out of their comfort zone.
Okay.
And they feel like, oh, maybe I cannot do this anymore, or you know what, it's too much stress, and so on.
Yes.
So I really think also one of the most important things is that you are really ready to get out of that comfort zone, and especially financially. If you one day, today, and alhamdulillah, I feel today, sometimes I have 50 riyals in my pocket, sometimes I have a million.
Okay.
But for me, they don't make any difference anymore. I found the way that this equals this exactly, because anyways, if I have any money, it goes back into the business. So my lifestyle doesn't really change. Either I'll be going out with my friends, or I'll be going out to the desert and spending no money, but I'm still having fun.
Okay.
But the point is, be ready to get out of your comfort zone financially and in general. That you will have to work extra hours. You will have to maybe compromise on so many other things before you get back there, because this gets a lot of people out of it. They give up.
Do you know what you don't fear anymore? Because you found the superpower, now you are Superman. Okay, great. So I will give you my own advice, actually. There is somebody here, he is my co-founder, told me once, if you want to succeed, quit your job. Right now, quit your job. And I did, actually. And I succeeded, okay? Because I learned a lot from this experience, okay? So the only advice that I'm going to give you, the only thing you must fear of is the fear itself, okay? So thank you so much for coming here today to the Startup Grind first event, Doha. And thank you. I want to thank all of you here to come here, okay? And let's go to the networking session outside.